Well, hello everybody and welcome to Lunch Break Live. Real talk about obesity, food addiction, recovery, and what's really eating you. I am Carrie De La Cruz. I just don't get it. That's what the title of today's show is. I just don't get it. And this is going to be an odd one. So, there's no telling where it's going to go, but the subject of today's show has been eating me up for quite some time. I know we usually talk about the stuff that's eating you guys up, but this is eating me up because I know it's eating a lot of people up. And they're just like not connecting the dots. They just don't understand, driving me nuts. So there's no telling where this show is going today. I'm putting that out there right now. And as Melissa sagely pointed out on one of her YouTube videos, she's like, boy, that Carrie, some days, you can just tell she just goes off, on you. And she's just going to have one of those days. And, but it's okay. It's all good when she does it, or, words to that effect. And yeah, I may go off today, but I wrote notes, okay, so that I can, stay close to the subject matter at hand. And now that you guys are all, hi mom, now that you guys are all joining me. And you know what? I got to tell you, I have these little doubts that run through my head from time to time about the show where I'm like, okay, so what happens if I do a show that isn't like what I think is my best show, and like all these people show up that have never come before, and they show up for a dink, and then like they never come back again because they hate the show so much, and like, well, that sucks. And okay, see, I can't go there. Because I'm just me. And you know what? Like I said yesterday, this is a mostly daily show. And so you just never know. I never know what I'm going to say. But today, like I said, this subject, I just don't get it. This thing has been eating me up again because I know it eats other people up, but no one seems to be talking about it. Or if they are, I don't know what they're saying. So with that said, I hope you guys are mildly intrigued. Oh, by the way, before I get, started, pulled a hair in my eye. Sorry. Okay, I just have to point this out. Look at my necklace, Mom. My mom gave me this for Christmas. Isn't that fun? Look at that. And like 80s earrings. Okay, so anyway, just had to say that. Anyway, fun, right? Hair in my eye. Okay. All right. Here we go. Today's show. All right. Are you ready? You guys ready? Settle in. Oh, hey, Wendy. Okay. So this is going to be an odd show for a lot of you maybe, and that's okay. Just hang on. Stick with me till the end because, there may be something there for you. All right. Before I launch into this, let me just say, if today's show strikes a chord for anybody, okay, if this makes sense, resonates with any of you, it is not that I'm picking on you. I'm not. I couldn't possibly be picking on you directly. I am not calling you out specifically because, okay, it's like when you're in church, right? And you show up and like the preacher is like saying stuff that you swear is just to you. You're like, oh my God, how does he know that? And you're like looking around, you're like, he's talking just to me. How does he know that? Okay, well, the good news is he's not just talking to you. As it turns out, a lot of other people might be in the same boat, okay? So I am like that preacher, who's up there, not just talking to you, but if it makes sense, listen, all right? So it's not because I know what you're thinking. Okay, I just don't. Although I have an idea you're thinking it. All right, so what I am talking about here is a little bit more widespread or, rampant. I'm going to go with rampant than you think. So instead of making you feel singled out, I want you to feel included. Do you get that? Because it's so rampant, and I cannot say the word rampant and widespread. I can't. It comes out rampant and widespread. But you get the idea. The point is, you're not alone. If that many people might be experiencing this, you are not alone. All right, and I'm talking to you. So I'm not even sure what I'm going to call this thing, like this thing, whatever it is, how would I encapsulate that? And I'm sure that there's some psychological term for it out there in some textbook. There's some psychological term for what I'm going to talk about, and it's like, oh, that's what you call it. And it would be way faster if I could just call it by that psychological term, but I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to say it. I spend most of my online time, admittedly, talking to people in the weight loss surgery community. That's kind of where it started. And I'm also a member of a lot of Facebook groups. A lot of them are closed or private, not public. And they talk about stuff like alcohol after WLS, food addiction, binge eating, and regain. So there's a lot of this discussion going on in these private groups. This is painful stuff that eats people up. There's a lot of shame and guilt surrounding it. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of hopelessness. So these groups, there's a lot of groups devoted to this stuff. And you would be surprised by the number of groups dedicated to addiction in general after bariatric surgery. I wonder what that's all about. And you know what? If you were a part of those groups, you would be blown away by some of the tales that people recount about what they've gone through, about how they lost weight and then they, gained a new addiction and lost everything. It's crazy because they're like, I was not expecting this, right? They lose everything, sometimes including their lives, or certainly the life that they knew. It's certainly not what they signed up for, what they bargained for, they think, all right? So basically this whole idea of addiction, after weight loss surgery particularly, not for the faint of heart, very, very serious business. So I'm not joking about it, and I have to address it. I think it's really, really important. It can't go unsaid. I also used to belong to a lot of food groups. Okay, no, not the food groups in the pyramid, but like groups on Facebook food groups, Okay, so they're the ones that worship and glorify food, all things food. Albeit, the healthy stuff, these groups are devoted to eating healthy, right? And they post the most amazing shots of food. Sexy modeling shots of food, I'm going to call it. And videos like how to make the food, okay? And, granted, it's going to be like healthy bread, right? Fat-free, guilt-free desserts, got a lot of that. I left probably all of those groups. I did. I don't belong to them anymore because it seemed to me that the obsession with food was just migrated into this obsession with like healthy food. All right. So healthy food is now the obsession, right? And if you've hung around with me for any length of time, because you've heard me talk about it in the last 6 months, I can binge on healthy food all day long. I can go to town, and that kind of defeats the whole purpose of eating healthy food, don't you think, if I can do that? Sugar-free, this is my favorite, sugar-free fruit pie. Sugar-free, well, what about the sugar in the strawberries? Isn't there? Oh, okay, well, it's like no sugar added pie. Okay, well, what about, are there carbs in the crust? Well, yeah, it is crust, but there's no added sugar. Okay, well, what about like the whipped cream? Oh, that's made with Splenda. But it's still got cream, right? Well, yeah. Look, all the flavor, half the guilt. So in other words, if I eat 2 pieces instead of 1, I get all the guilt. And that's what I did. And sometimes I didn't stop at 2 pieces because it's healthy. Okay, so in other words, yeah, I can make really unhealthy things out of healthy things and nothing flat, okay? No, I don't even have to think about it. I can do it. All right, so that's healthy food, right? I'm talking about healthy food there. Air quotes, healthy food, all right? What about the healthy groups? I'm going to put that in air quotes too. The healthy groups that post endless recipes for sugar-free mixed drinks, like a skinny colada. Huh? Anyone? Skinny colada? That's where I really start to say, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand because, you know what? A lot of these groups are followed by bariatric people. The very people that can be harmed the most by this kind of stuff. It isn't talked about enough because there's always like a moral, always a moral rider on the contract where you're talking about it. Like, don't judge me. Don't judge me. No. Let's set aside the morality right now. Let's just talk about the fact that bariatric people can be incredibly harmed by drinking. Can and are. All right? Think about it. People with obesity, here's the other thing. People with obesity aren't obese because there's a big number on the scale. Think about that for a minute. It's not because there's a big number on the scale. And therefore, they are not cured when there's a small number on the scale. There is something really big going on there. And that is because obesity is a disease of relationships. All relationships. with self, with others, and yes, with food, all forms of food, an umbrella under which I will put alcohol. I don't know why, because I don't need alcohol to live, but I'm going to put it under there, all right? So that's the point. So if people have surgery, okay, and they eat less, how exactly does that address the sick relationships that they're having? Certainly it doesn't address the relationship with food or themselves or others, right? Oh, I get it. It's a less sick relationship because they're eating healthier food. No. We heard about my very sick relationship with healthy food, so I don't really think that's the answer either. And guess what? It does not address compulsive eating or obsessive eating or addictive eating. What? Addictive, you say? Yeah. None of that is addressed in weight loss surgery. None of it, okay? So, does it address compulsion, obsession, or addiction of any kind? Well, a lot of people talk about transfer addictions, right? And I don't think it's transfer addiction at all. I just think it's a whole new focus. Because addiction's addiction. It's still there. It's just like an alternative outlet. It's something new and wonderful and fun that we can do that doesn't feel the same as the old addiction. So now we can focus on alcohol or shopping or sex or whatever else, right? Because it's like a whole new world for us. All right. But obesity is a disease. I remind you, it is a disease. It is a sickness, and it doesn't just go away because you start to eat less. And it doesn't just get better, certainly not, because you can drink more. All right? So stick with me here, okay? Because I'm drilling down. I am drilling down. I promise it's on the pages right here. I don't know where we're going. I wrote it earlier. The point is, this thing that I'm talking about here is not really specific to bariatric people. This is not just about bariatric surgery or about bariatric posties, okay? Not by any stretch of the imagination. Why? Because people are people. People are people. That's it. Whether you've had bariatric surgery or not, we still wrestle with the same things. The same things eat me up that eat someone else who doesn't deal with obesity up. You got that. Bad sentence structure, but you understand. All right. Here's the thing. I hear this all the time. All the time. Even before surgery. I really shouldn't eat so much pasta. I mean, I know it's not good for me, but I just love it so much. And I know I should not fill up on those breadsticks, I know, but once I get going, and I dip it in the sauce and I got the pasta and the breadsticks and it's just, I forget what I'm doing until the basket is totally empty. And it's not a big deal because everybody else at the table is eating the never-ending pasta bowl and the bottomless bread basket. And oh yeah, they're going to order that dessert that you say you shouldn't have and don't have room for, right? They're going to order that. So your unhealthy behavior is going to be reinforced at that table. It's going to be reinforced at that table, whether those people have had bariatric surgery or not, because it's what people do. Oh, come on. What's the big deal? It's not a big deal, right? So your unhealthy behavior is going to get poo-pooed. It's going to get waved off by well-meaning people because they don't want to feel bad about what they're doing, right? So they can't tell you what you're doing is bad if they're doing it too. Safety in numbers, right? So there's reinforcement. If everybody around me is doing it, it must be okay. It is really easy to go with the flow. It's really easy and do what everyone else is doing because if they're doing it, it must be okay. Only it isn't. But here's the thing. See, pretty soon, there's going to be pictures of the pasta and the decadent dessert from that meal you guys all had flying around Instagram. Those pictures of the event are going to be flying all over the place. And guess what? When you see those pictures, you're going to relive that meal in every mouth-watering detail. Oh boy, are you going to remember it. The pictures are so good you can taste it. That's what's happening, right? But it's not going to end there. That's not where it ends. It doesn't just stop because everyone was also drinking at the table. Of course, you have to have red wine with pasta, please. Look, here's me with my friends. We're having a wonderful dinner together. Man, there are a lot of glasses on that table for 4 people. All right, well, we'll just take the picture a little higher so you don't see all the glasses. Anyway, here's a picture of my margarita. Oh, isn't that pretty? I know I'm at an Italian restaurant, but I just wanted a margarita because they're famous for them there. So I had one. Look at me with my margarita, okay? So now I've brought it in and now I'm photographed with it, so it must be okay. And someone at the table took the picture of me. I didn't even have to do a selfie. So obviously it's okay. They're reinforcing it, right? So you put pictures of food and drinks on your wall because you're having such a good time with friends. right? It's not about the food and drinks. It's about the friends. Come on. It's what you do. It's where you go. It's being normal. It's what normal people do. And I don't know about you, but I had surgery to be normal. If that's normal, I don't want it. But I digress. Stick with me. All right. Eventually you stop seeing pictures of people, right? It's just the food. It's just the dessert. It's just the drinks. And then there's memes. Now there's memes supporting the behavior, talking about drinking and talking about desserts, right? It's all out there. So it must be fun if there's memes. It's okay. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. And soon enough, you got pictures of the morning Starbucks, your midday Starbucks, your afternoon Starbucks. And then you say, I know, I need to cut back on the Starbucks, but it's a skinny latte. Come on, please. I mean, and everybody drinks Starbucks. It is totally not a big deal. And I am nothing without my coffee. And then you start checking in from all these places on Facebook, right? Check in Starbucks, check in Olive Garden, check in, right? The bar, right? You're checking in all these places. So everybody, you're leaving a trail. You got pictures, you got check-ins, right? You've got video, probably. Checking in from the donut shop. What's going on in the donut shop? Why did you have to check in from the donut shop? I don't understand. Well, I was just there. It was just there. Before you know it, okay, you guys are posting pictures of other people's food and other people's desserts and other people's Starbucks. And now you're going on wine tasting tours because, hey, it's grown up, it's sophisticated, it's what we girls do. We just do it because it's so much fun, right? And now your pictures don't include food anymore. Just drinks. No food, just drinks. Because it's fun, it's grown up, it's what you do, sophistication. And you say, well, it's because of where I am. I mean, that's why there's no food. I mean, I'm at a wine tasting tour. Why would I take pictures of food? But you see, I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure of that because all I can see is the drink. I don't know what's going on behind you. All right? So, in the beginning, you said things like, I really shouldn't, but you did. And then you said, I really need to cut down, but you didn't. And then before long, you're wondering, how come I'm not losing weight anymore? Why aren't I losing weight anymore? I don't understand. Why am I regaining weight? I don't understand, right? So when I say I just don't get it, I just don't get how you just don't get it. That's what this is all about. This is not me judging you. This is me saying, look, this is eating you up and you're not even aware of it. And that is why I'm pointing it out to you. All right. When did it start being okay? That's what I want to know. At what point, in the progression of the disease, taking it to a whole new level, when did it become okay? So okay that it's no longer even an issue for you, except that it is. When did that happen? All right. So many of you guys tell me, okay? I don't ask, you tell me. I struggle with food addiction. Oh my gosh, I struggle with food addiction. And then you post endless pictures of food and recipe videos of decadent desserts on your wall. Why are you celebrating that stuff? I don't understand. If you're telling me you have a problem with it, why are you celebrating it? Well, it's just pictures. But aren't you living through the pictures? Doesn't it make your mouth water? Don't you say, oh, that just looks so good? And don't other people look at it and go, oh my gosh, that looks good enough to eat. Oh my gosh, I want to make that. Okay? So your addiction is being celebrated. You say you're not eating it. Why else would you put it there if you don't want to eat it, right? Or you tell me that you're struggling with drinking now. I never drank before, but it just relaxes me, and I enjoy it so much. And I don't do it all the time. I mean, okay, until you do it all the time. Eventually that's all there is. Just you, drink in hand. Maybe it's a different drink in 80% of the pictures that are on your page. And the other 20% are just pictures of alcohol. You're not even in them anymore. It's like ode to alcohol, ode to booze, or videos showing you how to make mixed drinks. I mean, it's just, why don't you just open a bar? Wouldn't it be faster? I mean, it's crazy. But it's like this, it's this progression. I don't want to call it the slippery slope, but I just want to say it's a progression, right? Once you say this is okay, then this is okay, then this is okay, then this is okay. And soon enough, everything's okay, yet you don't feel okay. It's eating you up, and it's harder than ever now when you say, I don't understand why I'm struggling, because you said it was okay. All right? Coffee memes. Yeah, here's the coffee memes. I'm nothing without my coffee. And your entire wall is an ode to coffee. a veritable celebration. Why don't you just put a PICC line in your arm and just do it intravenously? Wouldn't it be faster? Right? So you say, I know, I shouldn't drink so much coffee. And then you're celebrating with coffee memes. Why? Because everybody says it's okay. It's the thing to do. Aren't you funny? Oh, I get that. I'm in the same boat with you. Yep, I like my coffee too. And we all celebrate it. And yet we feel like crap because we know it's dehydrating us or there's too much caffeine. It's not good for us. We're using up room that we could be using for healthy stuff. We're using it up on coffee and it's our new crutch. Okay? So again, though, I'm not going to tell you not to do it, but I am going to say if you say you have a problem, but you're still celebrating it, that's where the problem is. Are you following me? I hope you understand exactly what I'm saying. So, I'm going to remind you of the conversations you either had or still have where you said, I know I have a problem. I really need to stop doing this. I really should cut down. I just want to remind you, you said that, not me. I didn't tell you need to cut down. I didn't tell you need to stop. You know this is your problem, not mine, right? I have my own problems, right? I'm not here standing in judgment telling you to stop. So if those are true statements, where you really say, I need to stop doing this, then why are you celebrating everything on your friggin' wall? Why are you celebrating everything you're fighting on your wall? It's like putting pictures of your enemy up there. I don't understand that, right? Let me see. Okay, I'm going to try and explain this a little bit better. Let's say your Facebook wall is littered with porn. 50% of your check-ins are at the local strip club, and you watch adult movies every chance you get, and all the while, you're telling people how against porn you are, how bad it is, how you're trying to cut back because you should. So which is it? Is it a problem or isn't it? And you're like, well, I would never do that. I mean, that's just too obvious. I would just never do that. Oh, but you are doing that. If you're saying you're having a problem with something because it's not healthy for you, it's not a good choice for you, and then you're celebrating it, isn't it the same thing? Right? To you, again, I'm not making a moral judgment on that. It's not a moral issue. If you want to drink, if you want to watch porn, you want to eat fattening desserts, never-ending pasta bowls, fine. Go for it. But don't say you really shouldn't if you're going to celebrate that you're doing it to the entire world. Don't do that because it's destructive to yourself. It hurts you. It eats you up. Do people do this? This is what I was kind of thinking. I'm like, where's the logic in all of this? Do they do it so they can say, hey, I dance with snakes, but I never get bitten, right? Do they say, I have to learn how to live with alcohol, so I better not make it the enemy, right? I mean, it's just going to be out there. Or do they say, I can't be addicted to food if I'm posting healthy recipes and food videos all the time, so that's why I do it, right? All of this is just making me what? Accountable? Accountable to what? Your disease? Others? What are you accountable to? The booze? Right? Do you see what I'm saying? It does not compute to me. It's not following. I think you're making it harder on yourself. That's what I think. This is hard enough without putting that into the mix. If it's really a problem for you, then stop broadcasting it. Okay, that's where I think this needs to start. If you have decided it's a problem, stop broadcasting it. Start there. Stop posting coffee memes. Unfollow the healthy dessert Pinterest board. Stop checking in from the bar. Okay, start there. See, just stop broadcasting it. Right? Stop celebrating it. Stop trying to pretend it's okay when inside you're saying it's not okay because I don't like how I feel. If you don't think you have a problem, totally ignore what I'm saying. But maybe tune in tomorrow because I'll be talking about something different. If you think you have a problem, this is where it really comes down. The rubber meets the road. But you don't want to stop doing this stuff. Well, don't tell everyone you have a problem. That's pretty basic, right? Stop telling everybody you have a problem if you're not going to stop posting about it. Because we're just going to scratch our heads and we're going to be like, okay, if you know it's a problem, then why do you keep doing it? I don't understand. And if it's really a problem, like food or alcohol or addiction, get help. See a therapist. See an addictionologist. Get thee to an AA or an OA meeting. Okay? Just do it. Get some help or celebrate recovery. Whatever, right? Get to a program and get help. Handle it. Don't broadcast it. There is a reason that so many of the groups I talked about are private and closed. There is a reason because it ruins lives. It ruins lives and people are horribly, horribly ashamed. And I promise you, there are no check-ins from the Golden Corral in the Overeaters Anonymous group. There are no pictures of booze in the Recovering Alcoholics group. There are people saying, I have a problem and I'm not going to celebrate the problem because I want to live in recovery. And I'm going to fight for it. That's what those groups say. So again, this is not me telling you not to post pictures of food or booze or desserts or coffee or anything else, unless you're telling me that you have a problem with it and you know you need to stop it. Because then I'm going to say, okay, stop posting about it then. Let's start there. That's what I'm going to say. You're not building up a tolerance like, to snake venom by dancing with cobras, right? And hoping not to get bitten. That's just not happening. You're just waiting to get bitten. That's all that is. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're not building up a tolerance to snake venom by dancing with cobras and hoping not to get bitten. You're just waiting to get bitten. It's going to be the same thing with the alcohol or the food or the desserts that you're dancing with, that you're flirting with. Step away from the snake. It won't make you less brave. I actually think it will make you smarter and stronger to step away from the snake. Not less smart, not less strong, more strong, smarter. Step away from the snake. Put it down. What is the venom that you are flirting with? What is the venom you're flirting with? Let's see, what did I say? What is your venom? And are you flirting with danger to prove that you aren't scared? So that is my very long message for today. See, I just don't get it. I don't know what you call this. But if you know something hurts you, and you continue to broadcast and celebrate it and pretend it doesn't hurt you, does it hurt you any less? No. If anything, I think you're doubling down on the pain, because I think you're trying to convince yourself that it isn't a problem, all the while your problem is getting worse. That's what I think. My opinion, as always. If this doesn't fit, I'm not going to make it fit. I'm not going to jam it down anybody's throat. But I am going to say, I see this eating people up, and that eats me up. When I see that happening, it makes me really sad, and I say, I need to do something to call attention to this, because it occurs to me that maybe people are not thinking about what they're doing. So that's where I'm going to leave that. I see that you guys are making a lot of comments, but I don't want to go long. I don't want to drag this show into the 30-minute mark. So I'm going to let it stand, and then I promise I'll come back and I'll address your comments below. I really respect and am humbled by your courage, your fierceness, your willingness to put your stuff out there, to own your crap, and to just say, look, this isn't pretty. I struggle with this, and I do need help, and I want to get better. That is amazing to me, those of you who are willing to put that out there. I am also amazed by those of you who may not be public about it, but who are sharing it with me behind the scenes. I treasure that. I value that. And you may trust me, because I'm not calling anybody out here. I'm just witnessing the struggle and your pain. And I'm saying, I can't do this for you, but since I know you can't do it alone, what can I do to aid you so that you will stop poisoning yourself and wondering why you feel so sick? Okay? So that is the point of today's dizzying show. I thank you guys for being here as ever. If this makes even a modicum of sense, and there's something in here that you think could benefit somebody else, please share it by all means, okay? That's why I do this. It is the gift of sharing information that could give someone the gift of recovery, the gift of a happier, healthier, more hopeful life. That is why I do what I do. So thank you guys for bearing with me today. And hey, like I said, who knows what tomorrow's going to be about, but I had to get that one out. I hope it makes a little sense to you guys, and I hope that you find some relief somewhere in all of those pages of words. So I'm going to sign off and remind you all to have courage, seek peace, embrace joy, and above all, celebrate your recovery. Remember, you can't stop feeding what's eating you. If you don't know what's eating you, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye.